Thanks for joining me on this video. If you haven't done so already, be sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content on the channel. And also be sure to follow me on these other social media platforms. Links are in the description below. All right, have and have not fans. Now, first off, thoughts and prayers to everyone affected by Hurricane Florence. It is Saturday morning, 5:20 a.m. when I'm recording this. I won't say that I can't sleep. I actually slept for like 4 hours from like 9 o'clock to maybe around 1 a.m. and now I'm just up. And it's just like luckily enough, my area has just been wind and rain, nothing too horrendous. I do believe that's supposed to be raining and storming all throughout the weekend, but once again, it doesn't seem like in Virginia, at least where I'm at, that it's supposed to be that bad. I am definitely concerned about the Carolinas. It seems that every time I go online, I see like another video of, parts of the Carolinas being flooded, or just a news report talking about how the storms are getting worse. So I do know that I have listeners all around the country and from different parts of the world. So definitely thoughts and prayers to those individuals. And speaking of prayers and thoughts, I'm just working on myself in terms of, I don't know if I just kind of like being overly anxious for stuff. I mean, the fact that we're almost at 50,000 subscribers is definitely getting me very excited, not just for the giveaway for the Walmart cards I'll be doing, but also the fact that it's almost been a year since I quit my job to pursue YouTube. But also that 50,000 is the halfway point to my long-term goal of 100,000 subscribers and also getting the silver play button award. But I mean, technically speaking, I would need 1,101 subscribers because you need to surpass 100K. But I've always been that way, setting goals for myself that seem impossible just to eventually overcome them, just to give me something to strive for. But, hey, I'm working on that. I know we can all do that together. Trust and believe that once we hit 50,000, I'm definitely going to be preaching, using my religion degrees to let you all know, hey, go out there. If everyone on the channel can get 1 subscriber, that's all we need, just 1 subscriber each. But in any case, I digress. Sorry about the long intro, but I was just in a talkative mood. But basically, this video is just kind of a fun, relaxed one, especially with the show on break. Now is a perfect time to do like top 5, top 10 list, who's my favorite character, and things like that. But for this particular video, we're going to be talking about the deaths, not exactly each and every individual death on the show, but more so if you could bring back one person that's either been killed off of the show or written off. I guess you could say written off, but even characters who seemingly are written off sometimes come back, if Tyler writes them into a role. So let me just say that the character you pick, and this should definitely lead to a good discussion in the comment section below, you can pick from a character who's been killed off screen, somebody who's been written off of the show, like, their time on the show is over and they're gone, or they just haven't been on the show in quite some time. And I mean, there are a number of characters I wish weren't killed off, but this really isn't the video for that. And just to, get to the meat and potatoes of it, I think that Jennifer Salison is probably the person that I wish was not killed off when she was. I feel like if I could bring back one character, it would be her. Not knocking DA, the new George, or even Sarah, but I just feel like they don't have the same tenacity and drive to bring down the Criers and the Harringtons like Jennifer did. I mean, Jennifer was willing to go against the wishes of her boss, who was telling her, in this town, you do not want to piss off the Criers and the Harringtons. That's the last thing you want to do. But she was willing to do anything and anyone, David, but to get what she wanted. And I really admired that, the fact that in a way she was kind of like a Candace or Veronica, but on the inside of the law. And really, like George, here's the one thing that I really don't think George has that Jennifer has, that the history. I feel if anything, George just has a chip on his shoulder because he really thinks, well, not that he's not wrong, that the Criers were the ones that killed Jennifer Salison. So it's pretty much, hey, you mess with one of our pack, now I want to come for you myself. But Jennifer, we have, once again, unknown history with Jim and David. Jim, we know for a fact that apparently when he was first getting on the bench as a judge, and Jennifer was pretty much an up and coming attorney, one of her biggest cases, which we could assume is Malone related, she brought the case to Jim, and he pretty much dismissed it and let the guy go, leading back to, I believe, episode 2 of the series, where he told Candace about the fact that he let a man who was clearly guilty, I guess you can almost call it the R. Kelly case of the haves and have-nots, where there was too much evidence because he made women disappear. And later on, we learned that it was definitely a Malone, due to the fact that Jim helped out the Malones one time, and that's why, you know, they helped him out a lot. And basically, because Jennifer lost that case, you know, she pretty much, it's almost like, you know, buying a pick 4 and you're one number away from winning the grand prize and you're pissed off. And then, you know, even though honestly I don't think they slept together, but he did take a jab at Catherine, saying that, you know, yeah, we did sleep together, Catherine. And then we know her and David allegedly had a history, but it wasn't explored. That was one of the things I really, aside from her being tenacious and taking down the Cryers and the Harringtons no matter what, we just have so many unanswered questions about Jennifer. That's a shame she was killed off the way she was. And I'm not really going to go into the debate about Catherine not being a good character lately, due to the fact that one minute she's this cold-blooded murderer, and now she's hooking up Hannah with Derek, and, you know, and everything is all good. And it seems like a bit of a hypocritical move to have her putting Wyatt in jail for a crime when it was technically self-defense and he didn't even kill the guy, whereas she was actually the one to put multiple bullets inside of Jennifer. But I'm not going into that debate today. But basically, I just feel like Jennifer, I mean, the fact that she was the one looking into the homicide, not suicide, of Amanda Cryer, the fact that we have unanswered questions about her past with David, and I really wish that we got a standoff between her and Veronica. That would have been great, considering how paranoid and not overprotective, but territorial of David that Veronica is. And I remember way back when Jennifer was over at the Cryers' house, and this was an off the books conversation, and they're like, you're not supposed to be doing this, trying to get evidence. And I think her and Veronica almost went at it, and David, you know, put a hand on Jennifer, kind of like to gently push her back. And I'm thinking to myself, why doesn't Veronica lash out at Jennifer? Why doesn't she suspect that Jennifer is into David? I mean, I always wondered that, and lo and behold, a couple seasons later, we have Jennifer straddling David, and I'm just like, I knew it. But we never really got more of that. And yeah, I just really feel like, you know, the Jennifer scenes with Catherine were some of my favorite in the series, due to the back and forth banter between the two and Catherine holding her ground. The fact that Jennifer, yeah, she was scared of the fact, you know, like when Catherine was threatening her about, you know, her was it her frozen eggs or something like that? Because she never had children, because she thought it would slow down her career or something like that. Basically, Catherine was one of the few people to strike fear in Jennifer. But you got to admire Jennifer for standing up for justice. I mean, yeah, she has a personal vendetta against the Cryers and whatnot. But at the same time, she was really fighting for justice. And that's a darn shame. You know, a strong. And you know, one thing about the haves and the have-nots, say what you want. Let me take a sip of water real quick. Is that what I really wish the show would get back to, is showing, you know, strong black people in powerful roles. Like, don't get me wrong, you know, we kind of still see that with Charles being winning the election and stuff. But I love the simplicity of, you know, the earlier seasons, where even though we knew, as David quoted, well, quoting David Harrington, you know, Veronica was a cruel, vindictive, simple bitch. I'm just waiting for Veronica to come out of nowhere and slap me in the face for saying that, but I'm just quoting her ex-husband. But I'm just saying that I love seeing, you know, powerful, strong black women, like, you know, her taking command of a courtroom, or you know, owning a rehab center. David, you know, being a judge and then running for lieutenant governor. Candace, you know, the schemes aside, she was definitely a star law student. Hannah, even though she wasn't a have, it's just she represented the lower working class and a Christian woman. I mean, that's awesome. And I mean, And Jennifer, of course, you know, being a district attorney, I mean, that's nothing. Sometimes those little, well, they're big things, but they don't really get noticed due to the fact that the story is so crazy. But it really was great to see a strong, confident black woman in such a powerful role in the law who was fighting for justice. True, once again, she did have like a personal vendetta against the Criers, but at the same time, it was getting that justice for little Lizzie and Benny Young. I mean, because at the end of the day, a little black girl got mowed down by a car. And the debate still stands if it was really Wyatt. I don't think it was, but that's another video for another day, which I'm pretty sure I've done a year ago, but hey, who knows? But basically, all I'm saying is this much. I feel like Jennifer Salison still had a lot to bring to the table. True, I don't work for Tyler Perry Studios. I don't know what was going on behind the scenes. Maybe Jennifer, and I'm sorry, like... I know the actress's name because she's so nice. We talk, you know, now and then on Twitter, but I just recognize these characters from their names on the show rather than their names in real life. But at the same time, she might have been working on different projects, and I'm really hoping there's a Coming to America 2. I mean, I would really like that. But basically, I'm just saying that I feel like Jennifer shouldn't have been written out of the show because... think of it this way. You know how George was like, Wyatt, I can't get you out of jail. I mean, you had immunity for the little Lizzie and Benny Young hit and run case, but not for any new indictments. I think that's the right term. If so, high five to myself. And I'm thinking to myself, if Jennifer Salison was George, she would have done something to get Wyatt out of jail. I do not doubt that she would be able to pull some strings or something like that, or she would find a way to bend the law in order to get Wyatt out if it meant getting him to testify. Because remember, because Wyatt can't get out of jail now due to this new strike against him, he was like, you know what, fine, I won't testify against my parents. And then George was like, well, if you don't, then the immunity for the hit and run case is gone, meaning you're going to be charged with that as well. It's like, fine, whatever. And that's really stupid, but whatever. So yeah, I feel like Jennifer Salison definitely would have done something to get Wyatt out of jail, just my opinion. But with that being said, you know, I feel like I've talked enough about this. You know, I really want everybody else to chime in. If there was one character you wish you could bring back into the show, who would it be and why? I'll probably do a separate video about which character I feel like shouldn't be or what characters shouldn't have been killed off so much as written off of the show. But yeah, that's a decent video for a while, to do in a little while. But yeah, so basically, guys, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Once again, trying to hit that magic number of 50,000. You know, 100,000, that's the goal. But you know, I really should celebrate the milestones as we cross them. So the halfway point, 50,000, is right around the corner. Yeah, and thanks for everybody who follows me on Instagram. Link is in the description below. The HAHN, obviously, for the haves and the have-nots. I believe we're almost at 900 subscribers. So yeah, let's see if we can get that to 1,000 subscribers soon. All the links to my social media are in the description below, as the introduction in the video stated. I really do hope to get some good comments on this video, because I would really love to see, you know, who would you bring back into the show? Why would you bring them back into it? And also, you know, kind of tell me, you know, how would you allow them to interact in the show? You know, like, hey, bring so-and-so back and they could have contributed to this particular storyline. Trust and believe there are some characters I wish I would have selected to be brought back, like Warlock and Oscar. But at the end of the day, I feel like those characters pretty much got to the end of their storylines. That doesn't mean I liked how they went out. Let me just put it that way. But once again, that's a separate video for another day. So again, everybody stay safe when the path of the hurricane. Definitely keep up with the news reports. And yeah, everybody take care.